Every footies cards in the new promo needs a playstyle build, but I have seen some horrendous ones going around. And I'm talking proper Div 10 stuff. So today we're going to go through every single position and build the best playstyle build for each position, including the 5 playstyle plus, the 8 white playstyles. And everyone watching this will realize at least one mistake they're making with at least one of the cards in their team. We're also going to go over some of the individual footies players like Ronaldo, Sanchez, Ferland, Mendy, and tell you how to apply every playstyle instantly rather than spending ages in the menus. So let's jump into it. So let's start with goalkeepers. Now, obviously, goalkeepers don't have that many playstyles, and this one's probably going to be the most similar to last time, especially because the only footies cards we've got so far in goal is carriers. However, I'm going to put this video out for the start of footies and not update it for the rest of the teams, as it won't change. We're going to cover 5 playstyle plus today. So when we put playstyles up on this tier list, not every card can have 5 playstyle plus right now, but we know it's going to be coming to footies. So watch this video and hopefully should cover you for the entirety of footies when it does go to full 5 playstyle plus and 8 individual playstyles. And we'll also make sure we talk about which of the 4 playstyles are the most important, so you know what to build right now as well. The way we're going to do this is like last time for Glory Hunters. We're going to put the ones into A tier that are playstyle pluses, the ones into C tier that are playstyles, and then E tier down the bottom, some honorable mentions that we can talk about. So for A tier, first of all, the first 4 ones are pretty obvious in my opinion. Far reach is a must as a plus. Footwork is a must as a plus. Rush out, I hope you guys know by now, is a must as a plus for keepers. And then Deflector plus, I absolutely love it. There's something about Deflector. You guys might have noticed it in your games. It gives goalkeepers, it just gives them better animations, especially on those far corner saves. They get those better animations and Deflector pops up. So I love Deflector plus now. That is our 4 playstyle plus, but like I said, we're going to get a 5th one, and people will talk between far throw, cross claimer will be the big favourite, and I know for a fact there'll be a lot of people that go for pinged pass plus. Now, the reason I'll go for pinged pass plus is the little gold badge on ping pass, the actual plus variant, is really, really good, and if you build out the back a lot with your keepers, I actually would go with this. However, I'm going to be a little bit boring today and say, yes, I would go with cross claimer. I think it is just the best. 5 playstyle plus on a goalkeeper is insane. It means only one of the goalkeeper playstyles is left as a white regular badge playstyle. But we've got 8 playstyles to use, 7 more. Now, it's really obvious, in my opinion, to go ping pass. I think it's really obvious to go tiki-taka. I think it's really obvious to go, where is it, long ball. That's our first 4. I think you have to go quick step. Apparently, according to the pro clubs guys in the community, quick step with rush out is a really good combo. So we're going to go with quick step. I've heard a lot of people going first touch. Now, they go first touch when they pass back to the keeper just to make sure they get a nice touch in case someone is pressing them. I don't hate that. I have heard intercept, block, and jockey. We kind of spoke about them last time. They do absolutely nothing. After people have tested them, your goalkeeper does not intercept the ball. They does not block the ball. We're not doing that, right? We put it on last time. People tested it. It does absolutely nothing. At least we've learned that that has changed. Instead, we're going to go press proven. Why do I say that? Well, in the 1 in 50 games where your goalkeeper gets pressed, genuinely, it might help. Who knows? And I believe we've got 1 playstyle more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've still not learned to count like last time. I would probably go incisive plus. Are you ever going to use that? No, not really. But are you ever going to use finesse shot? Maybe, for God's sake. Maybe give them dead ball and put your keeper on free kicks. I guess that's funny. But no, I'd go incisive. That is the goalkeeper build. Let's move swiftly on. It's least important one right now with only 1 goalkeeper. But just know, we will definitely be getting more goalkeepers as the weeks go on. So it's going to get more and more important. But let's move on to fullback. Now, fullback is interesting because we've actually got this DeMarco in the token store, which a lot of you guys might actually be taking. We're going to count Isaac Torre as a centre-back, so we'll get to him next. And this Kyle Walker, by the way, I have just tested the new method, which is why he only has Playstyle Plus. The method of putting playstyles on him as quick as possible using web extensions, and it is brilliant. We'll jump into that a little bit later on in the video, but everyone needs to know that. It saves you so much time when building Evos. But let's talk about fullbacks. Now, this one, you'll have seen some of my choices there with Kyle Walker. They have not changed since last time for the first 4 playstyles. I think it is so obvious. You go quick step, you go intercept, you go anticipate, and you go bruiser plus. They are just needed, right? Again, the game leans into a bit of a meta at the end of the day. It's always about meta, and the game has not changed in a while with the meta, but those are the first 4 playstyle plus. The big debate now is a 5th playstyle. So let's track all the playstyles I do want to talk about. Jockey, we're going to get right in there. Block, slide tackle, aerial fortress, rapid, we're going to get in there. Incisive, pinged, ticky. You could make an argument for long ball, although I don't love it. And we've got finesse there. They're not really there. Maybe relentless and press proven, right? Now, there's a lot of these you could argue for playstyle plus. I know a lot of people will go pinged and incisive. If you like using your fullback as more an attacking fullback, definitely I can understand why. If you're the 1 in a million person that uses whipped passes and you get your fullback to whip crosses in, like they're a prime Gary Neville, David Beckham combo, first of all, you're an absolute freak, by the way. But no, we're not doing that. But I understand maybe for you, that's what you go with your Playstyle Plus. But for me, can I say, there's been a hugely underrated Playstyle Plus that I have loved using recently on some cards. Some niche cards have it, and I tried it out, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. Now, if you're bad at defending, try Jockey Plus. If you're really good at defending, I'd say if you're Div 1 or Elite Div, probably won't notice a big difference. You probably think, I don't really need that, Jeed. Absolutely fair enough. If you're below Div 1 or Div 2 even, genuinely try out Jockey Plus if you've not been using it already, especially on fullbacks when one-on-one defending. It can be a massive boost to those of you guys that are quite aggressive while defending or just need help recovering because, again, you're not the best, maybe you're quite casual, absolutely fine. Jockey Plus, when we get 5 Playstyle Pluses, I think it's absolutely brilliant. We then need 8 regular Playstyles. Block has to stay, in my opinion. Slide Tackle for you guys who rage and spam Slide Tackle has to stay. Aerial Fortress, if we can put it in like order, is by far the most important playstyle. The amount of times people lob balls with kickoff glitches over the top of your fullbacks, and often your fullbacks, like DeMarco and Kyle Walker we spoke about, I would use this exact build. They're quite small, right? They're not really 6'1", 6'2". They're quite small. So Aerial Fortress, Block and Slide Tackle needed, Pinged and Ticky needed. You're going to see us put Pinged and Ticky on, I think, 99% of positions in this video. Pinged and Ticky just makes the cards play smoother. They pass the ball better. And when cards pass the ball better, it makes playing the game easier. Believe it or not, I know it's crazy. I would also put Incisive on and Rapid on. And I believe that is 7 playstyles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is. So you're basically looking one of Long Ball, Relentless, and Press Proven. And I think you guys will know what I'm going to go with because I love having it on my fullbacks. If you keep up to date with the channel, Long Ball goes, Press Proven goes. I like my fullbacks to be able to get forward and be able to get back. And often, they're not able to get back as well if they don't have Relentless. Now, they've got 99 stamina. Sure, you can miss it and go for that long ball, even go for that whip pass, go for that tricks there if you think you're the coolest person in the world. But no, I'd go Relentless Plus, and that would be my build for fullbacks. Again, some honorable mentions, as you mentioned. Technical, maybe first. I'm not begging it. No, that is our build for fullbacks. That is what I would do. But of course, one of the most important ones in the entire team is centre-backs. And now that we're getting a 5th Playstyle Plus, I think a lot of people won't know what to do with their centre-back. So what we're going to do is we're going to move some of these down. We're going to keep these 4 because these 4 are just 100% staying. I don't see how Bruiser, Anticipate, Intercept, and Quickstep are just not needed on a defensive position. So we're going to keep those, move some of those down, and there are some of the other ones we can talk about as well that are much more applicable to centre-backs than they are fullbacks. Now, centre-backs, we've got Harry Maguire, we've got Virgil van Dijk. Let me know down below, has anyone packed Van Dijk or Peanut? Have any of you guys got a 99? I got Ronaldinho on a second account. Shout out if you were on the Twitch stream and saw that. We got Ronaldinho, but we've got nothing on the main account, and I assume most of you guys are the same. I think most of you guys, if you're using a centre-back from this Footies team, and if you're not using him already, try him out. It is this Isaac Toure card, and he's 95 rated and has some brilliant Evo chains. You can even use him left back and right back if you want. I don't really recommend it. I'd rather just play him centre back, but he looks absolutely brilliant in some of the Evo chains we've seen. So let's get a build specific to him, and he is massive. Now, why does that matter? Because Aerial Fortress, trust me, you just don't need it on a card that is like 6'4", 6'5" plus. If you want to put it on just because we've got that many playstyles on Evos these days, I don't hate it. But honestly, go and use Van Dijk without Aerial Fortress if you've got his 99 card. I promise you, you won't notice it. You won't notice it one bit. I've seen pros say the same. I'm confident on that opinion. I'm going to take it out for now. To be honest, after we keep building this, I might put it back in. Rapid, we don't need. If you're playing Incisive 3 balls with your centre-backs, I need to know what formation you're playing. Tiki, I would stay. Pinged would stay. Slide Tackle would stay. Block would stay. Jockey would stay. So we are left there with 6 playstyles. We need 2 more. The ones I want to talk about, Precision Header, not Acrobat, but where is it? Finesse Shot. And I'll speak about why on Finesse Shot. Trust me on that one. I'd actually rather Finesse Shot over Aerial Fortress, and I will explain this. Press Proven and First Touch. Now, please... Oh, also Long Ball. That was the one I was missing. Right. So, we have got 2 playstyles to choose from, and we've actually got a Playstyle Plus. So, in theory, 3 playstyles to choose from. And again, you could always do the dead ball play, but let's stop being boring. So... Though the first Playstyle Plus we need, the next big decision is the 5th Playstyle Plus. And again, like fullback, a lot of people are going to go Pinged. I'm not. I'm going to go Jockey for the same reason. But what I will say, I want to be very, very cautious with this, and it's different to the left back, right back position. Sometimes, if you have gold Jockey on centre backs, they will actually move too fast for what you are used to. You are used to white Jockey or no Jockey. So if you use that gold Jockey, basically, you kind of shimmy too far either way, and you might find early on in the games, the striker kind of just goes past you. I wish I had some gameplay footage. Next time for these videos, I'll get gameplay footage. But the striker will kind of go past you because you're going too far, if that makes sense. So if you put Jockey Plus on one of your playstyles, or one of your players, luckily now we can take away playstyles. You can always get rid of it and swap it for something else. But I still think it's better than Pinged. I still think it's better than Ticky. And I still think it's better than Block. Block Plus, in my opinion, just isn't as useful as it needs to be to get in this. I've had Block White on most of my centre-backs, and some of the most broken, insane animations you get on some of those cards make you want to put the controller down and stop playing, to be honest. but I don't think you need block plus. So I would go jockey as the 5th playstyle plus. And for the 3 playstyles, I am personally going to go, I don't like precision header. I don't really head on this game. I don't really cross the ball too much. And if I do cross the ball to corners, we're going to get to it because, trust me, I'm going to go press proven. I'm going to go long ball. In my opinion, I don't really like first touch on centre-backs. I don't think it matters too much. But again, you could probably go press proven or first touch for basically playing out from the back. I'm going to go finesse shot. Now, let me explain my reasoning because maybe this doesn't apply to you, okay? The reason I'm going finesse shot over aerial fortress, and I understand if you've got a smaller centre-back, a 6-foot of Pau Kabasi, please, for God's sake, use aerial fortress. But we're going on about Isaac Toure, Harry Maguire, Virgil van Dijk. These are the footy centre-backs, at least for now. They're already like got the animations. They don't need aerial fortress. How many times have you guys had the balls of feet of your centre-backs in the opponent's box off a corner? Maybe you've not changed the roles of your players in the new team, so all your centre-backs are still in the box. Ball falls to the feet of Harry Maguire, Virgil van Dijk, Isaac Toure, whoever it is, and they just can't finish it because they're a centre-back. All they need on this game, because of how broken playstyles are, is finesse shot white. Give your centre-back finesse shot white with that last playstyle slot that's recently got added with footies, and I promise you, that 1 in every 10 or 15 games where the ball falls to one of your centre-backs in the box and you score that goal could be the difference between winning and losing the champs game. It's that kind of silly thing that people ask, why the fuck have you got finesse shot on your centre-backs? You got to trust me on that one, and when it comes into play, you'll think, BigJead, what a guy. That's what I'm going to go with centre-backs. But we've got to move on to CDM centre-mids, cams, left wingers, right wingers, and strikers. Basically, the main chunk of this video. This is now where people argue about playstyles and builds, is when we get to the more attacking players, and especially midfielders. Now, I don't want to keep you guys waiting much longer. I said I'd show you how to put on Evo so quick for these cards. You're not spending ages putting playstyles on, and if you already use Foot Genie, you should know what I'm on about. Not a paid bit of Foot Genie. This is absolutely free. I am not sponsored by Foot Genie, not anything like that. But Foot Genie is absolutely brilliant. Shout out to Alex, the creator of Foot Genie, for this feature. It's brilliant, right? So we're going to talk about Ferland Mendy and Renato Sanchez because, of course, they're midfielders, and that is our next position on the tier list. Let's say I want to put the playstyles on Renato Sanchez. I click on the card. I go down to Explore Evolutions, as you've just seen me do. And all you're going to do is go down here and go to Playstyle Plus Lab, right? On Renato Sanchez, these are not the playstyles I want. But say I wanted Acrobat, Aerial Fortress, Anticipate, Block, and I wanted those 4 Playstyle Plus, right? Click this green button here. I think it's going to be under the webcam, so I'll scroll down. Click this green button here. Apply instantly. Apply now. Give it a second or two. Like, it'll take literally, like, what, 5 seconds? And if we just back off to prove it, right, and go back on Renato Sanchez, you will see he has those 4 Playstyle Plus. And we can do the exact same thing for the regular Playstyles. Do Explore Evolutions, go down. This time, go to just the regular Playstyles lab, not the Playstyle Plus lab. And say we wanted these white Playstyles. That's 4. And we do the 8 white Playstyles that were allowed. Go up to the top. Apply instantly. Apply now. Let it go through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go through. Again, if we back off, go back into our squad and go on. Look at this, Renato Sanchez. If we can see his full playstyle build here. You can't see them all, but if I scroll down there, or you can see them there on the card. See how he's got the regular base playstyles on as well, like Aerial Fortress? I've just removed the webcam so you can see easier. Do you see how he's got the +4 more there, the regular playstyles? Basically, he's got given all the regular playstyles that we just gave him. I think we give him all of those playstyle plus, which is why he's only got 4 more, because we kind of like duplicated it, you know what I mean? We give him the wrong ones. But you can see my point, right? That took about 5 seconds, and you can do this for every single card in your team, and that is how you put in playstyle plus on. Go and get Foot Genie downloaded online. I need my webcam back. Go and get Foot Genie downloaded online. You can go click on your player and do it instantly. It takes like literally a minute or 2 per player, if not longer, like 5 minutes on the actual game itself, where it takes 10 seconds on Foot Genie. It's brilliant. And if we go into the game here, you'll see our Renato Sanchez there with Aerial Fortress, Acrobat, and all that crap. So that's not what we're putting on them. We're talking now about centre mids and what we should actually put on them. And this is very specifically Renato Sanchez, Ferland Mendy, Paul Pogba if you've got him, Valverde if you have got him. Not the cards like even Mbappe. We'll get to cams later, like Carl, Foden, and Mbappe. This is centre mids or CDMs. So get ourselves a blank canvas here. Now, let's start dragging up playstyles we want to talk about. Finesse shot can go in there. Low driven can go in there. Game changer, incisive. When it comes to centre mids, you could argue for a lot of the playstyles on this game, and we're going to work through it. Inventive, jockey, block, intercept, anticipate. I guarantee at least one person watching, at least one person has all of these playstyles on at least one of their centre mids. I guarantee there is someone out there. If you think it's crazy, I promise you, all of these playstyles, I have a Discord where we do Evo reviews every stream. Come and get involved if you want to. But when we do Evo reviews, we see some mental stuff. And even I've seen Enforcer on centre mids. I've thankfully not seen any of the goalkeeper playstyles. And I think I've even seen power shots. But I'm not going to, trust me, power shots not going to be on pretty much any player today. Maybe on strikers, we'll talk about it. But no, I'm not putting power shot up yet. You know, if you're there for the vibes, I understand power shot. We're not doing it just yet, okay? These are all the playstyles people put on centre mids. Now, let me tell you straight away. Block on a centre mid or CDM, no. Slide tackle on a centre mid or CDM, no. Enforcer on a centre mid or CDM, no. Trickster, we will let you guys off when we come to attackers, but right now on a central midfielder, no. Off the bat, That is what I am getting rid of. They're the ones you can't even consider, and if you've got them on your centre mid, shame. Shame. Everyone look at that person, point, shame. This is what we're talking about. So let's start with Playstyle Plus. And again, let's start with the first 4 Playstyle Plus that are the most important. Finesse shot is just a must, even on a CDM, in my opinion. Pinged, incisive, and intercept plus. Now, this can change depending on how defensive the centre mid is. I've just said finesse is a must on a CDM. If it's a CDM in a formation like a 4-2-3-1, where those 2 CDMs are not getting forward whatsoever, and it really are just CDMs, then yes, you can take out finesse shot plus and swap it with anticipate, which means for every centre mid, these 3 playstyles are needed. Pinged, incisive, and intercept. For CDMs, I would go anticipate. For a little bit more attacking, just as centre mid, I'd go finesse shot. And that means that for all of them, as a box-to-box, I'd go anticipate, finesse shot, intercept, incisive, ping. Now, you're not going to want to put anticipate on any of your cards that are more attacking, like your cams. So if you play a 4-4-1-1 and you maybe got a centre mid who only just bombs on, that's up to you. That's your judgment. But for my centre mid build, when we get 5 playstyle plus, people underrate anticipate so much. The amount of times I win the balls solely because of anticipate plus on cards like Path to Glory, Frankie de Jong is unreal. We spoke about it last time. I'll speak about it again. If I've got a more attacking centre mid, I'd go finesse shot first, and then when we get 5 playstyles, anticipate. And I've got a more defensive centre mid, I would just swap them around, because even on a CDN that doesn't really get forward, finesse shot plus is so broken that I just don't hate it. If they get on the edge of the box even once, it's the difference between them scoring and not scoring. That's how broken finesse shots are. It's as simple as that. That is the 5 playstyle plus I would go for, which leaves us with 8 playstyles to whittle down from this absolute hunk of mess. Now, I'm going to start right away and say, rapid is just not really needed on centre mids. How often is a rapid centre mid player going to be running down the line? Just not that often, right? They are central players. So rapid, I'm going to ignore straight away. Same as game changer. This position we're talking about is box to box at max. And game changer is only really good on really attacking players. And we'll get into it later when we talk attackers. So that can go as well. And I'm going to start ordering these in terms of importance for a centre mid. So tiki taka, as you guys know, is just an absolute must. I think press proven is an absolute must. I think quick step is an absolute must. I think on any player that goes forward a little bit, we're going to put low driven on there. If you're talking more CDM, it falls to, less priority, but I'm going to put low driven on there. Any card that can get in the box, having those shooting playstyles is such a bonus. I just absolutely love it, right? I'm going to move technical plus to the front. We've got our first 5. And then the ones in contention, I'm going to move Bruiser to the Bruiser plus goes to the front as well. Bruiser's still so broken. EA need to patch Bruiser, and if they don't, it's going to stay there forever. So we've actually got our first 6. And the ones in contention are Relentless, Long Ball, Inventive, Jockey, Aerial Fortress, and First Touch. The first one I'm happy to get rid of, to be honest, is Aerial Fortress. The only players I'd put Aerial Fortress on is players like Pedri in midfield, Vitinha in midfield, right? If those cards get Foot Birthday, or not Foot Birthday, but Footies cards, and you find that they're constantly losing headers, maybe put it on, but it's more of a last resort thing, right? I don't want to waste that as one of our playstyle slots on the last 2 we've got. And I kind of don't want to waste first touch. We'll talk about first touch more when we come to attackers, but first touch on centre mids, weirdly, just isn't really needed. You might think it's more important on a centre mid. Not really. It's more about getting a pass into the player really fast is when it's needed, and that often happens more with your strikers and attackers rather than it does with your centre mid, so we're going to ignore that as well. And I'm going to ignore inventive. People love this invented hype. We'll talk about inventive properly when we come to the cam position, because it's really heavily a cam play style, but I'm not doing it right now. So we're between Jockey, Long Ball, and Relentless. And for me, I'm probably going to put Relentless on all of them. If they're a sitting CDM, probably don't need it, but I don't think it ever hurts, right? It's never needed as a gold play style, but as a white play style, I don't think it ever hurts. And my opinion, based on what we spoke about before, I just love Jockey, man. Jockey, it's growing on me day by day. Any card that's going to be doing any sort of defensive work, especially on the edge of the box, which is what FC26 is all about, right? AI defending, edge of the box defending in your CDMs. I really don't hate Jockey, and it does mean we lose Long Ball. I will just say right now, if the card we're talking about is strictly defensive, Long Ball comes in for low driven. Maybe that's your Ferland Mendy, right? Ferland Mendy does not need low driven. You can swap that in for a Long Ball. Even an Aerial Fortress, I wouldn't hate. But on most box-to-box centre mids, just in case you guys want to take a screenshot or something, I don't know, I'll leave that there. That is what I would go with. Low driven for more attacking players, Long Ball for slightly more defensive players. But that is our centre mid build, and like we spoke about before, you can swap the 2 playstyle pluses around as well, depending on if they're more attacking or more defensive. But boys and girls, now we're getting to the exciting position, starting with central attacking midfielder. So Philip Foden, a lot of you guys will have that SBC. Leonard Carl, who is, yes, can play right mid, but no, that guy's a cam, right? He is a brilliant cam, not an SBC, but an objective. He's brilliant, like Phil Foden. And there are loads of other ones as well. You guys might have Rutter from the season pass. You might have just packed an Ethan Mbappe that you want to try out in game, despite only having 4-star weak foot. EA, it is footies. What the fuck are we doing with a 4-star weak foot? And he's 2 years younger than me. Let's get off that screen before I get depressed. But let's jump into the cam build. So this is the Carl, Foden, Rutter, whoever it is you're playing at cam. I think this one's going to be pretty standard, but I guarantee a lot of people are going to, argue about this one in particular. People are very particular about how they run their cams on this game and have been since Playstyles got introduced. So This is what we are going with. Straight away, I'm not even going to mess around with it. Finesse shot plus and incisive plus, just like, I'm not sure there'll be a single person watching this who doesn't have both of those playstyle plus on their cams. And if you don't, I mean, we're nearly in August. What are we doing, man? You kind of have to, right? You don't really have a choice. As a third playstyle plus, I think pinged is so nice. Your cam is the dictator of play. Not a dictator like Mbappe, but the dictator of play, right? They're going to be spraying the balls to the wingers and the strikers. Ping plus has literally never hurt anyone. And I have had a massive debate in my community over these 3 playstyles for what we put on as the last plus in a 4 playstyle player, or which 2 we put on as the last playstyle pluses on a 5 playstyle plus player. So it is low driven, technical, and quick step. They're going to be playstyle pluses, and one of them is going to get demoted. And honestly, I go back and forward on this all the time. I think in terms of the C-tier, let's drag these on now. Game Changer comes in, Tiki Taka comes in, Trickster finally comes in, First Touch does come back in, Press Proven comes back in, Inventive definitely comes back in, Intercept comes back in. I think we can lose the Relentless for now. You could argue Rapid comes back in, but I'll tell you right now, that ain't going to make it. And I can see again, like we mentioned before, maybe you could argue Power Shot because your cam's going to be on the edge of the box, but I just don't know how many situations on this game where you can Power Shot it. You're not just going to finesse shot it, right? You're not taking 40-yard screamers, and if you are, you're probably not getting that many wins in champs, which is fine, by the way. You don't need to not take power shots. I'm just saying, we're going for meta builds right now, so we're not going to have power shot on the list. But let's go to playstyle plus, and I think there's an easy way, in my opinion, to decide this. I thought about technical versus low driven versus quick step, and I thought, if I wanted one of these as a playstyle plus, not just a playstyle, when that gold badge comes up, and I feel like it makes all the difference, what would I want? And I might have answered the question for you guys already. It's low driven. When that gold low driven badge comes up, you just know the chance of that shot going in is so much higher than without it. It just is, right? That gold low driven near post, when you're vertical with the keeper, right? One-on-one with the keeper near post goes in, I would say 95% of the time. It is so good. So I'm going to go with low driven as the 4th playstyle plus, and as the 5th playstyle plus, I go between quick step and technical all the time. But can I be honest, boys? I think quick step plus is better. I think technical is great as a white playstyle. I think it's, I'm going to put it right to the top of white playstyles. I might even change this in a few weeks to something like this. But I just think technical is not the best. Do you know the reason I say that is? Left stick dribbling is brilliant on this game. And a lot of players like Foden and Carl, like brilliant, the left stick dribbling. You don't need technical plus, where I think you probably need quick step plus a lot more to have that really top level player. And that's why I'm going quick step plus as the 5th playstyle plus. And in terms of playstyles, we've got 8 to choose from. I think we've got 9 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, we're going to drop just one of them now. It might surprise you the choice I go for. If we're going to drop only one of these, you might think, well, why is Intercept there in the first place? He's just going to drop that one. I'm going to drop Rapid again. Now, okay, there is definitely situations where I would go Rapid, and it can depend on formation. I play 4-4-1-1, and I actually think if you have a single striker formation and your cam plays maybe shadow striker and gets in behind as well as your striker, then Rapid is definitely worth a go, and I would take out Trickster. I know a lot of you guys won't do the Trickster animations, but to be honest, the amount of times I do that in my 4-4-1-1, my cam is an absolute playmaker. My Foden, my Lennox card, they're going to be absolute playmakers. They're going to be playing balls to everyone else and then getting on the end of a few things for a low driven or a finesse. They are not the ones making the darting runs in behind. But Rapid is brilliant for that. So technical, I think, is a must. Game Changer, I think, is a must. I love Game Changer low-driven shots at both angles, right? Whether on the near post angle on either side, that Game Changer low-driven on a 5-star weak foot player is just so nice. It feels like a guaranteed goal every time. Tiki-taka, goes without saying. Tiki-taka is just tiki-taka. You need it. First touch, I think similarly. First touch, your cam's going to be getting a lot of the ball. A lot of quick 1-2 passing. I think first touch in and around the box, which they're going to be in and around the box, is brilliant. I think Trickster, if you don't use Trickster and you're thinking, why is Trickster there? Just try the Trickster fake shot. The Trickster fake shot is a fake shot in a straight line, just when they have tricks there. You do nothing else. You just do a fake shot, X and A or B and A, in a straight line. And if you've got tricks there, the animation you get is so smooth. It's such a smooth little animation that you can chain it with other skills. And it is brilliant. You've also got the tricks, the rainbow flick and other things in there, which is a little bonus, but it's not what I use it for. Press Proven, I love. I think it's still underrated to this day. Inventive, I'm going to leave in for cams, and we're not going to talk about it in pretty much any other position. But yes, Inventive can help with through balls on cams. I don't hate it. The big one being Intercept here. I think Intercept is such a broken playstyle in general, and I think your cam, without you guys realising, is often the one that will be able to break up the play when the opponent's building up from the back more than any other position on the pitch. I think having Intercept is like a last little playstyle, a last resort at the back to maybe win the ball back and start a counter-attack. is so valuable that I'm taking it over Rapid, which I think some people will massively disagree with. But yes, I'm taking it over Rapid. Honestly, the first time you stop a counter-attack with your cam, when you put intercept on them, I think it'll click in your head and you go, okay, yeah, no, fair enough. That is fair. Moving on to wingers. Left mid, left wing, right wing. This is your Luis Diaz, your Chloe Kelly. Maybe you've got Claudia Pina 99 and you're the one person in the entire world that is not playing her up front at striker. But wingers, I think, to be honest, the wingers in Team 1 of footies aren't the best, but I know that we'll get better ones in week 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we can get Dembele footies, Vinicius footies, Mbappe footies, and I think we'll get a lot of the Yamal footies. EA love to do things that'll sell packs. So I think wingers is going to get more and more important as the weeks go on, and hopefully we get one of those cards I just mentioned as an SBC or an objective. That'd be brilliant, and this will get really, really important. Yes, we've had Carl so far, but like I said before, I think Carl is out and out just he's a cam. He's not a right mid. I know you can play him right mid. Don't play him right mid. Play this guy cam, and you'll get so much more joy out of him. How is this guy 4 years younger than me? I'm going to get depressed again. I'm getting so old. No mental breakdown. Playstyles time. So on wingers, things change quite a bit. It is actually the first time we see Rapid Plus on a player, which is weird. It's such a good playstyle. You thought you would have seen it by now, but no, Rapid Plus comes into the first time on wingers. And I would say, yes, it is the single most important playstyle on wingers. And trust me, if you guys have used players like Bradley Barcola's, I think it's a Phenom's card, I believe it's Phenom's, you'll know what I mean with Rapid Plus. Some cards have it, and they're not even lengthy, and they just play brilliant. We finally said lengthy in this video. Have I said lengthy yet? I think. Maybe. I don't know. We finally said lengthy. But yeah, even if they're not lengthy, Rapid Plus makes all the difference. The next most important one is the best attacking playstyle in the game, Finesse Shot. The next most important one is Quick Step. At the end of the day, it's a winger, right? Wingers run down the line. Quick Step and Rapid, you guys knew they were going to be on there. And you know what? There's not even a debate, in my opinion, for a fourth playstyle plus. It's incisive. There's just not a debate. And a lot of you guys talk to me and say, the wingers really need incisive. How often do they play in the through balls? If you've used Path to Glory Gakpo, maybe you'll be on my side on this one. Incisive from wingers to play through balls to your cam or striker whenever it arises. Have an Incisive Plus, which, by the way, Incisive Plus is so much better than a regular base Incisive. It's just so nice. And now that we're moving to 5 Playstyle Plus, yes, we can include, which is the one I go for, Low Driven. Now, you can argue Low Driven and Pinged. I'll put them in the same category. I will not be, mad at either of them. Everything else, I think, no, you wouldn't do for a Playstyle Plus on a winger. But Pinged and Low Driven, I think you could argue both of them. I go Low Driven. Yes, Pinged is going to be great. You're going to ping the ball to your strikers and your cams. But I think having Pinged as a white playstyle can get by as a winger. But as you mentioned before, that Low Driven, whether it's a cross goal from a winger or near post from a winger, honestly, just wins you games. And when a playstyle wins you games, we add it to the list. Yes, it's only a 5th Playstyle Plus. I definitely go with these 4 first. But yeah, you can add Low Driven as a 5th playstyle plus when we get it. In terms of regular playstyles, let's add all the ones we want to talk about. Game Changer, Tiki, Pinged. We're not going to put Chip Shot, Precision Header, and Dead Ball on pretty much all of these. What I will say with Dead Ball, before we move on, is that you might want to have one card in the team with Dead Ball. And if I'm going to do that, I'm actually going to do it on maybe a fullback just because they don't need as many other playstyles, just as a bit of advice. But we're not going to talk about Dead Ball here. Whipped, Inventive, don't need intercept, but we do need Technical, First Touch, Trickster, Press Proven, and I guess you could argue Relentless. Now, straight away, Pinged, Game Changer, and Tiki are the 3 most important ones. Game Changer on wingers is the best place to have wingers. If you've got a right-footed player on the right wing, a Game Changer far post shot, you guys should know by now, that is one of the best shots on the entire game. Left-footed player on the left, right-footed player on the right, and hopefully you've got a 5-star weak foot players, they can still bang the finesses on their other foot. That is the winger build. Lengthy winger with Game Changer and then Finesse Shot Plus. That is kind of the archetype of a meta player on this game if you're leaning into being a rat. So those 3 playstyles stay. I then move Technical to the next as the 4th playstyle. I'm going to actually move Press Proven as a 5th playstyle. I think Press Proven on attackers is just like so ungodly underrated. You give the ball to someone, they can hold LT, shimmy around, bit of left stick dribbling, and they don't lose the ball. How is that not insanely valuable? So that's the first 5 playstyles. We've got 3 more to choose from, and you might be thinking, Jead, why have you added Whipped Pass Plus there? Just because some of you guys are lunatics and will cross the ball on this game. I hate crossing the ball on this game. It is shocking. It is so bad. I don't cross the ball. If you do, I can understand having Whipped Pass White. Maybe it's worth it, for those little tiny extra little bonuses on crosses. But yeah, for me, we're avoiding that. We can get rid of that one. And I think we can get rid of Relentless. I don't think you really need Relentless on wingers. I've never found that my wingers are doing that bad on stamina. And the big thing with wingers is, which is not the same as the reason we put it on fullbacks, is wingers you will almost always sub off in games if you're making subs, whereas fullbacks you won't. That's why we've gone with Relentless on fullbacks, but not on wingers, right? You'll almost always sub off your strikers, your cam, and your wingers, and it's the same here. So we're not going to go with Relentless. Instead, we keep Inventive for those through balls, because it depends what foot your winger is. It could really, really help. We're going to keep First Touch as well. We're going to keep Trickster as well. I've told you, Trickster fake shots, Trickster rainbow flicks, Trickster animations in general help win games. And if a playstyle helps win games, I'm going to put it over whip pass. I'm going to put it over relentless because I don't think they help win games just as much. And yeah, I think first touch is pretty self-explanatory. We don't really need to go with first touch. Having your wingers have a nice first touch in the box so they can take a nice first touch and shoot is brilliant. That is my winger build. I do think those 4 playstyle plus are necessary. I would go low driven over pinged, but if I saw this build on someone's winger, I would not bat an eye. If you like having pinged passes and you just play a little bit more passing football and maybe you just don't take that many low driven shots, I don't hate that. But let's address the elephant in the room because it'll be the same for every position. Some of you guys might be saying, Jeed, I don't use technical because I use analog sprint. I just want to say, if you use analog sprint and therefore technical doesn't matter. Basically, analog sprint, if you don't know, is a setting where depending on how much you hold sprint, depends on how fast your player sprints, if that makes sense. So what you can do is, if you've got analog sprint on and you hold the triggers down just a little bit, they basically do a technical sprint, and therefore you don't need technical because it works on all players. However, 95% to 99% of the community don't have that. So instead, I would put technical on there as a build. But just a shout out to you guys that do stick with analog sprint. But we're into the most exciting one, or the most debatable one, the one that people argue with me about the most. Gabriel Jesus, Cole Mwani, Richarlison, whoever it is you're using, Claudia Pina maybe, Ekatike, up front at striker. If you've not got a good striker footies cards, I guarantee you will get one within the next week or two because EA love to put loads of striker cards in every promo. You guys know they do. And hopefully we get some really big striker SBCs. We've not seen pretty much any so far. But let's talk striker builds. So a lot of these are going to be very, very obvious because they're kind of similar to a winger. We're going to make a few changes, but they're kind of similar to a winger. Finesse shot plus, if that's not on your striker, just exit the video. Don't dislike the video because I dislike you, right? So we can mutually agree, dislike each other, right? No, finesse shot plus needs to be on all strikers. Low driven needs to be on all strikers. It's your striker, for God's sake. I will not go into more detail. Incisive plus needs to be on all strikers. If you don't use a narrow formation and you don't have incisive plus, you are just single-handedly nerfing your chances of winning. If you play 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, I would still have incisive plus on, but it's maybe like not as a necessity. I'm not going to shout at you if you don't have it because you're not playing that many through balls with your strikers. You're more tiki-taka. But I still think it's so good on any offensive player on this game. Hence why we've had it on every single player from centre mid upwards. And then the big debate we spoke about last time. And I've got some ball knowledge on this that I have learned because I go and educate myself like all you guys do, right? I go and educate myself that I have learned since last time about quick step and rapid on strikers. But before we go into that, let's talk about tiki as well. Chip shot and power shot, you could argue on this one, but I'm not even doing chip shot. I can't do it. I can't make myself do it. Game changer, ping pass, inventive you don't need at all. We're not even going to talk about that. Technical, trickster, press proven, enforcer, and that is it, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe that's just the regular playstyles. Is there any that I'm missing? I don't like relentless on striker. Chip shot, you're an idiot if you put that on. Sorry, I just don't like. Yeah, you're not an idiot. That's harsh. Don't put chip shot on. Just don't put chip shot on, right? I was there one day. I've got to remember I was Div 10th when I was, maybe a little bit too old, to be honest, so I shouldn't say that. There it is, first touch. I knew I was missing one. I could see it. I knew I was missing one, right? First touch. So, first of all, let's do these regular playstyles. Power shot is very niche, but has a use. If you just, for whatever reason, don't think finesse shot is going to work, white power shot can be the difference between you scoring a power shot in the box and versus not scoring a power shot. But the amount of times you should be taking a power shot over a finesse shot is like so small that I just don't think it's needed. In fact, we're going to relegate it straight away. I just don't think it's needed, right? So these are going to be the 8 play styles we go with. Now, Enforcer is so niche. And if you want to swap out Enforcer for Inventive, for Power Shot, for Relentless, for something else, even for Dead Ball, I don't hate you one bit. I really don't. This is for when we get the 5 playstyle plus cards with like unlimited playstyles. You could even go Precision Header or Acrobat. I think Enforcer has those moments. You won't realize it because it's a white playstyle, not a gold one. But it has those moments where you're doing a bit of left stick dribbling, holding off people with LT around the box, where it might just get you a goal. It's such a glitchy playstyle. I'd give it a 5 out of 10 if we were rating playstyles. But I am going to include it as the last playstyle on just the strikers. It's a little bit niche. Try it out, especially on some of your strikers that are maybe a little bit smaller and struggle holding off defenders when trying to get through on goal. I don't think you'll notice a huge difference, but it's enough for me to justify putting it right at the bottom of the list. And I do want to stress that, right at the bottom, right? In terms of order, Game Changer is the most important, then Tiki, then I'd go Technical, then I'd actually go Press Proven, then I'd actually go First Touch, then I'd go Tricks. Their ping pass is just not that important on strikers. They're often the card getting pinged past 2, if that makes sense. And they need tiki-taka to lay it off to a winger or something, but they're often not the ones spraying ping passes about. Press Proven and First Touch is a lovely combo on striker. Slam the ball into their feet in the box. They take a good first touch, and then they've got Press Proven mixed with Enforcer. They're very hard to get the ball off, and it just makes playing the game so much more enjoyable. They have that sort of Ibrahimovic feel of, you're not going to get the ball off me. I'm just going to turn around and shoot, and that is beautiful. So that's the playstyles I'd go with for the 8 playstyles, but Rapid and Quickstep. Now, obviously, the big thing is we can do all 5 of them. When we get 5 playstyle plus, we can do all 5 of them. But a lot of cards, at least for the next week or two, are going to be 4 playstyles because you're not going to have 5 playstyle pluses on everyone. So Quickstep or Rapid. And this is the bit of ball knowledge that I learned, right? Essentially, ask yourself this question. Is the striker a tall, sort of lengthy striker, or are they a small, nimble striker, right? If they are a tall, lengthy striker, you're actually going to go Quickstep plus first. The reason for that is I have used cards like Cristiano Ronaldo, cards like Ibrahimovic, and when they've got Quickstep plus, when that body type has Quickstep plus, they play so much better because normally their acceleration's a little bit slower. Giving them Quickstep plus is like a huge boost, and they actually accelerate a lot faster, feel a lot nicer on the ball. And then you'd give that player Rapid plus as their 5th playstyle plus. However, if you've got 99 Claudia Pina, if you've got maybe someone like this Richarlison who's only 6 foot, if you've maybe got someone who's basically a bit more nimble, a bit smaller, they are going to want to have Rapid plus as their 4th playstyle plus because they are not going to be lengthy. They're not going to have those long strides in-game naturally. Getting Rapid plus on them is so important for the amount of times they're running in behind. Maybe you guys have noticed it as well. If you don't have Rapid plus on a small striker, they feel like the slowest cards in the entire game, whether they've got 99 pace or not. It just doesn't matter. Then Quickstep on those cards is a nice extra boost as a 5th playstyle plus, but honestly, getting Rapid plus on the smaller strikers is so important. So that's how I do it. Rapid plus on the smaller strikers, Quickstep plus on the taller strikers. Boys and girls, that is the full list. I really hope you got something from this video because I know a lot of you guys will enjoy building footies cards. I hope you go and use that FUTTIES in the extension as well so you don't waste all your time just in that playstyles menu, especially on these EA servers. Let me know what builds you guys are going for with Ferland Mendy, Renato Sanchez, and even an Isaac Torre Evo if you are doing one. You little rat, you're just like me. But yeah, subscribe if you are new for more videos like this during FUTTIES. Like the video if it does help, and I'll see you all in a bizzle.